Ramblin Man here. I want to tell you a little bit about myself. Today is the day I get a little bit more open with you, talk a little bit about myself, and you get know a little bit about me. All right, so I grew up a little bit in Central Texas, and then all my high school years and stuff, like my middle school and high school years, were in West Texas, out in Big Spring, Texas. So shout out to Big Spring. Now, I will tell you, I grew up in a Christian household, and we had no choice. We were going to church every weekend, whether we wanted to or not. And I grew up Baptist. Went there and everything, and it was awesome. I accepted Christ when I was 8 years old. And I don't know if you have a relationship with Christ. That's totally up to you. I'm just telling you about my relationship, how my relationship with Christ, and you don't have to listen to this if you don't want to, but it's important to me because you get an idea of who I am and how I came about, okay, and where I'm at right now in my life. So 8 years old, I accept Christ. I accept him in my heart, and my life changed. And it might seem like it didn't change like in a drastic way, because at the time I was 8 years old. So for me, I hadn't really even lived life much, but I understand the significance of it. So I go through middle school, high school, always going to church. Spent most of my time in youth groups, with a lot of my friends being from the youth group, and some of my best friends were from the youth group, and just hung out, did camps, everything as I grew up. Well, I go to Howard Payne University, and I love that place. It's amazing. I have so many great stories there, and I can honestly say one of my best friends there was named Sean Brown, okay? And we were freshmen together. And he was amazing. Just a great guy. And whenever I talk about someone, it's not like that they're flawless. I'm just telling you right now, he had his issues too. But let me just tell you, he was amazing. He was on fire for Christ. Hadn't been a Christian that long, only a couple years whenever I met him. But he was on fire for the Lord, and it was amazing. So we go through, and he was a really big part of my life that freshman year. Then our sophomore year comes, and I really did not go to church very much when I got there. I think I was just burnt out, and so I didn't go to church as much as I should have. Sophomore year, junior year, and my junior year, I met the person that would become my wife. And we got married, and I was 21 years old when we got married. She was 19. We were young. I was her first boyfriend there at college. Now, I will tell you, sometimes it works out great, but sometimes it doesn't work out great getting married that young. I think she always felt like she rushed into that, didn't really get to experience life, and so it kind of held that. And instead of addressing it early on, we got married, and we were married for like 20 years, okay? 21 years when we finally got divorced. And it wasn't one of those things that we fought her all the time. I think she just had that, she just wore that, right? And just felt like, I just don't want to be in this relationship anymore. And so, not putting any blame on anybody, it just happened. It just, we ended up getting divorced. Well, within our time being married and stuff, you go through ups and downs. As a Christian, you go through ups and downs. And I went in the Army, and I would say in the Army, we had a church we went to and everything, but also that's when I started doing things like drinking and stuff. I was so naive in things, and I was of the old school mind of, oh, you drink? Oh my gosh. Well, let me just tell you, I like to drink. It's one of those things, but at the time, I was very much, I would call it naive, okay? And it just grew up like, you don't drink, because the real strict Baptist way, right? You don't drink, you don't smoke, you don't any of that stuff. So I hadn't done anything at all. And so I get to the Army, and I start drinking. And I wasn't drinking badly, put it that way. Let me tell you, I wasn't like an alcoholic or anything. Just I drank, and I enjoyed it a lot. And I thought about things like, man, I missed all this stuff when I was in college. I could have had fun with this and that, but I also fell away from Christ some, and it wasn't because I didn't need him. I just found other things to fill that space. And when you start filling that space with other things other than Christ, you fall away. Then after I got out of the Army, I went moved to Arizona, where my wife at the time lived. I mean, where her family's from. We went there for 3 years, and I got really involved in the church and really enjoyed myself. I loved it. We had some things happen that we ended up moving back to Texas. Came back to Texas, and we just couldn't find that same embodiment, like that church body that you just really love. And so I fell away from Christ, but I wanted to keep the kids involved, so we kept the kids involved, and we'd go to church, but it wasn't consistent. Off and on, off and on. And that's the way it went, like a roller coaster. Well, fast forward to the day, I got divorced, or I was told by my wife at the time, like, I don't want to be married anymore. Okay, so we go through, I hit rock bottom. Let me tell you, I turned away from the one person, the one entity that could take care of me was Christ, and he's always there. He never left me, but I turned away because I was like, you know what, screw this, I don't want this anymore. And it wasn't like, I tried to stay strong at first, and then I was like, forget this. I went to the bar all the time. And my mom always told me, you'll never meet your wife at the bar. Well, I met my wife at the bar. So, no, I already knew my wife previously, and my new wife, okay? So I went through a divorce. I'm at the bar all the time. I'm there so much they already knew what I drink, and they knew I was coming in every day. I mean, every day. I would get in the car, and my phone would tell me, you are 7.2 miles from. I'm like, oh my gosh. I knew right where I was going at that time every night. So I was at the bar all the time. Well, I met up with my current wife because she was there too, because she had lost her husband probably, I would say, 9 months before that. He had passed away. And so she was dealing with it kind of the same way I was. Now, she was not a Christian at the time. And I just felt, we were just friends, we're hanging out, and I felt a call to her, like just a draw, like if something was drawing me to her. And I don't know why. I really don't know why. And later on, I'm always kicking myself like, what was I thinking, Why would you do that, Because you shouldn't be unequally yoked. You shouldn't be with a Christian man with someone that's not a Christian, because you're not in the same belief, and how can they build you up and bring you up? Well, I made that decision to marry her, and we got married. So we get married, and she always told me, I don't want to hear about your Jesus or anything. I don't want to hear about him. Okay. But during that time, I was coming off that. Those first couple months, I was coming off that. But what I found out was I developed a stronger relationship with Christ because I only had me. I knew my wife. I had chosen her, or God had chosen her, but I didn't know this. That's why I felt such a draw to her. I had chosen her, and I didn't know. I kept trying to get out of it. Like, this is not for me. It's not working out right. I should not have jumped into this, but I just felt like I should be there with her. So I go through, and I'm getting closer to Christ. I have 4 kids of my own, and then she has 2 kids. So together we have 6 kids. And the other 2, they have a father and stuff, and he's part of their lives. But I had to step in, and we're raising 6 kids. Only 2 at the time were living with us. The other ones live with my ex-wife. And then we only have 1 at home. Well, one day I'm just talking, and I'd been praying about it and stuff, and one day my wife says, hey, why don't you tell me about Jesus? I'm like, what the heck? This was my opportunity. It's like God just laid it on her heart. She wanted to hear. And so I just put it out there. And she that right then and there accepted Christ. And together we've been stronger. And it's not been easy. It's been a struggle. But let me tell you, we've moved stronger and stronger. And I'm at a point right now where I'm rekindling that relationship with Christ, and I've gotten stronger. And I know some of y'all are out there and be like, I've been there, I've done that. Yeah, because let me tell you, it's not always the second you accept Christ, it's not like, oh, it's easy. No, because let me tell you, once you accept Christ, Satan's going to come after you, because he's like, oh yeah, well, I'm going to try to derail this and keep you from finding that one true happiness, which is Christ. So now you kind of know. I just felt it so strong. And I'm just telling you, like, I've been thinking about talking to y'all about this, letting y'all know my story and my walk and where I am. And so I will tell you that what I've learned about Christ, though, is he doesn't take people and expect them to be perfect. You'll hear my videos. Sometimes I get ramped up and I may drop a cuss word, and I'm sorry for that. But I will tell you, God doesn't hold that against me. I think it's great. Like, I don't drink because my wife can't drink, so I don't drink. I just don't. And I gave that up a few months ago, and it's been amazing. So, and it's not because I think anything of it. I have all my friends drink. It's great. I go to parties, they drink. But I'm just telling you, your walk is your walk. I don't judge people based off of what they do. Do I agree with everything people do? No. You'll hear me talk about different lifestyles that I don't agree with, but it doesn't mean I don't love those people. I have some of my best, God, I love people so much. I have some of my best friends that I just care so much for. I don't agree with the steps they've taken or things they've done, but you know what? That's not my place. I'm not their judge and jury. Only God does that. And I am totally in love with people. I'm telling you right now, if you don't know me, I would love to get to know you. I want to tell y'all, thank you for subscribing to my channel. I hope that you get as much, I hope you get some laughs out of some of my stuff I tell you. I hope you get some things where you feel your heart is touched. And I hope sometimes stuff ticks you off because it makes you think, and that's okay. And I'm good with whatever your thoughts are. I hope you stick by them. Stick by your beliefs. Don't let somebody else change the mind for you. Now, if you change your mind, that's okay. But don't just change your mind because someone told you to. I love you guys. Thank you so much for your time, and thank you for letting me tell you a little bit about myself. Taking this 12 minutes of your time has meant a lot to me. But now you know where I stand. You know I'm not perfect, but I'm always striving to be what God wants me to be, the man he wants me to be, and the man that he wants me to be for my wife and my family. So I have wonderful kids. I have great friends, and I enjoy doing this. So I hope this thing blows up and I can just share more with more people. But just know, anything that I do is never out of harm, never out of hate. But it's my opinion, and I have fun with it. So if you get mad at me, it's okay. I don't mind. I'm like a duck, let it roll off. So you guys have a great day. I hope this helped you understand me a little more. And yeah, y'all have a great one. Ramblin Man out.